Hey everyone, I know times are tough and the talk of a refinancing boom might have you wondering if it's the right move for you. Lower rates, smaller payments, or pulling cash out. It sounds great, but it's not one size fits all. That's why it's so important to speak with someone who truly understands your situation. Reach out to Anna Cara Loans and her team. Anna has been helping families with your mortgage needs for more than 24 years, and she's here to help you figure out if refinancing is worth it for you. Don't fall for the call center, loan officers, and telemarketers. No pressure, just honest advice from someone who cares. Because sometimes the best move is simply knowing your options.
We are thrilled to have our next guest on the show, Estefani Mendez, who is from season 1 of Love Undercover on Peacock, which is one of Peacock's newest dating shows where 5 famous soccer players will find out how successful they would be in today's dating world without their superstar status.
Mm-hmm. How fun would it be to discover love on this show? We are so excited to get into all things romance on today's episode.
Okay, so here we go. We have so many questions for you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's like, this is going to be a fun one.
Yes.
So first of all, Megan and I were researching a little bit about you, and you're from a big family, a family of 8.
I'm the oldest of 8.
Wow.
Me included, yes. And the youngest is 4. Yeah.
That's my son's age.
Yep.
So cute.
Okay.
What is that like? Like, what type of role were you taking on, kind of being the mom, the big sister? Like, how did you stay so ambitious and have so many goals while being a part of a big family?
I definitely was a second mom in the family. Besides my sister, who's second to me, I wiped everybody's butt. Every single butt I've wiped. I've taken care of them. I've taken care of them when they're sick, taken them to like the doctors. Like, give me a baby right now and I'm good. I'm golden. I can take care of it like this. Like, yes, I was the second mom to all of them.
Wow.
You will be totally perfect for motherhood when that happens.
I'm prepared. I definitely want babies. So, yeah. It's the Latina in me.
Yes. You know,
it is so true. The culture, right?
It's the culture.
I was talking to this friend of mine named Caesar this week, actually.
Yeah.
He said that Latin women, he's Latin, he's like, Latin women have the chip. They cook the food, the chip.
Oh, like the microchip for like the best
the chip,
wife,
like they have the chip.
mom?
Like they know how to cook, they know how to take care of the family, they know how to take care of the kids. It's like in the genes.
Oh,
yes.
Maybe my husband needs a Latina. I was like, I'm just kidding. I'm perfect for him, but he would love that. He's Macedonian and he's very much about the cultures of like the meals prepared and the perfect Stepford wife. I can do it. I'm doing great at it, but it's funny.
Yes, that's so literally funny. It's like in our nature for some reason. I want like 10 babies. I'm already late to the game. Like for my age, I'm late to the game. I'm 28 and like I should have 3 kids by now.
Oh, wow.
But I'm waiting for the right person. I want to get married first. I want to have time to spend with my future hubby and then like pop them out one after the other.
I love that.
Well,
so
are
very
most people
traditional.
not like getting married first?
I would say no. Most people are not getting married first. Well, what I have noticed, or they're marrying really young, which again, nothing against it. Everybody's on their own timeline, but I'm definitely ready to start a family in the near future. Like I'm ready.
You're like there. Okay.
I'm there.
Got any guys listening? We're like, all right, she's ready. Let's do this thing. Okay. So tell us like how did you get on the show? First of all, because I'm like this, I actually don't know the story. Do you know the story? No.
No.
It was actually crazy. So somebody reached out to me through Instagram and it literally was an account with like 300 followers. And I was like this close to like being mouthy and being like, fuck off. Like, why are you teasing me with that stuff? Because I was in the market to go on a reality dating show. I was actually auditioning for The Bachelor at that time. And I was like, you know what? What's going to hurt if I respond? Like, let me just, it actually took like 2 or 3 days before I responded. I was like, yeah, sure. And they're like, let's hop on a Zoom call. They told me about this show. And I was like, sure. Well, what they had said was, are you ready to meet some wealthy man, foreigner? Like, are you sick and tired of like your fuck boys in LA, this and that? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Why not? Like, let's do it. And I actually got casted for it. I did the blood work, did the psych evaluation, and 2 weeks before we're about to go, they dropped it entirely.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean blood work? Before we hear this,
I think we know what this is going to be for.
What's the blood
for the sex question?
Yes.
Yeah.
So in case you get frisky with someone, like you have to make sure you don't got chlamydia, you don't have AIDS, like you got to make sure you're clean, and that's why they check blood work.
This is 2024. We're finding out that everyone's doing this now.
Is this a new thing?
No, like anybody who goes on a TV show, like you got to do the blood work. Yeah,
I think that's great though. I like that they're
it's
deciding
good
to be ethical
to make sure like everyone's good, because when you go on a dating show, I wouldn't say it's bound to happen, but it's a dating show.
Well,
you never know what's going to happen.
If you don't have chemistry in the bedroom, like usually, I don't know if the relationship's going to work out. There's got to be some sort of sex appeal, right?
Exactly. And I feel like for me, that's like the biggest thing too, is like if the sex is good, okay, we're awesome. Because I have been in a relationship where the sex was bad and it just... I try to see other things in him, and it just was not working out.
Yeah,
so yes, they do blood
breaker.
work. They do blood work, and.
Wow. But have you had blood work before when you were dating? Were you on a date where a guy was like, "Can I see your blood work?"
No.
Okay, so this is just for the show. I just want to
This is
clarify
just for
that
the
one point.
We gotta get that straight.
Yeah,
Megan's gonna be new to the dating scene, so she's gonna go on her first date and be like, "Can I see your blood work? Give me the card."
Your blood work. No, I also saw in a movie. This is not real. And then we are not even. You didn't even get to answer your question. But I just saw in this TV show recently, like a futuristic society. These people are about to have sex, and they have these like a little camera here, and this person the camera, and then they're like, "I consent to having sex," and the other person's, "I consent to having sex," and so it's on video.
No,
yes,
and I'm like, that's terrible.
What show?
Where did you see
Black Mirror. It's Black Mirror. Yes,
and I stopped
that,
watching that because it was so disturbing after the first
Those episodes are insane.
When she was losing all her followers,
That
I got
one too.
so anxiety.
Yes.
It was the first thing, and I was like, I'm done.
Yep.
Noted. Not watching.
No, it literally gives me anxiety.
No, I had to turn it off. Like, I was like, this girl's life
Because that
is
like could be
ruined.
the future. Like that potentially could be
Ooh.
if it goes in that direction. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like it's crazy.
Yes.
It's
Okay,
scary.
so you got your blood work and plane ticket or whatever you were saying. Yes.
Yes. So I did the blood work. They canceled it that 1 year. And then the following year, they're like, hey, like we're bringing it back on. Do you still want to do it? Yes. Awesome. Here I go again, doing the blood work again. And the second time I had this nurse and I was telling her like, yeah, I'm going on a dating show. Obviously they're going to hate me because I wasn't supposed to talk about it, but they're my happy ass goes like, I'm going on a dating show. She literally put the needle in my arm and then she stood back and she's like, you know what? I love to watch Love Island. I was like, oh my God, woman, please just take out the blood. Like literally the needle's just hanging there and she's just talking and I'm like, oh my God, please just take it. And it was like 14 vials. I was like, please just like
14
take the blood.
vials?
I forget what it was all for. I think I was missing like
That's a lot of blood.
I think I was missing one shot, or I didn't think I get the date right or something like that, because on the application you have to put all your shots, and I don't think I got the date for one of them correctly. I think Hep C maybe, I don't know, might be wrong, but like I had to take extra ones to make sure I was like,
I don't know when I took Hep C.
I don't even know
if I took Hep C.
I don't even know.
It's hard to remember.
What?
all that.
I was
It's hard
3
to
years
remember.
old. What? Who
I
has these
literally was just
paperwork?
typing. I was just like, this date, that date, this date.
Oh man, I might need to call my pediatrician and get the paperwork.
No,
You got some
seriously.
legwork to do before you hit the dating scene.
Shit.
No, yeah, literally.
No, I'm serious. I don't know if I have Hep C vaccine. I didn't know there was a Hep C vaccine.
I
Doesn't
believe
Pamela
so.
Anderson have hepatitis C?
I have no idea.
How did she get hepatitis C?
I
don't even.
no-
What does it actually do?
I don't know. All
I
I
have
know
no
is you can
idea.
die, I think, right?
Can
From
you?
hepatitis C?
Okay, so
Okay,
you got the
moving
blood
on.
work. So you finally get the blood work done.
I finally get
Okay.
the blood work done, and this is like what, 2 years after, and then they pick my ass up in an Uber and we hit to downtown LA and we start filming.
Oh my gosh.
Literally, I was at the JW Marriott next to the Ritz, and we were driving back and forth to level 8 at the penthouse on top. A lot of people have events there, a ton, and it's stunning, absolutely stunning. But when I tell you the anxiety, because we were all put in our own room, our own little room just like this, and we weren't allowed to talk to any of the other girls, and we would have like 2 days filming and then 3 days no filming. 1 day film, 2 days no filming. I was going crazy in the
Wow.
head because we weren't allowed to talk to anybody.
Oh
Well,
my
what did you
God.
do all day?
I would like watch TV, take a nap. I would sit on the windowsill, like look at people.
Were you allowed to work out?
We were, but we had to go like in order because at that time I didn't know there was 18 girls. Okay.
Oh, so that's
I
how
didn't
they
know.
Did that. Okay.
So we were just going one by one to the gym, and sometimes they would forget me, and I'd be like, "Hello," and they're like, "We're so sorry. Like, we're coming to get you."
So are these 5 guys at the bar, and out of these 18 girls, they keep circulating them, and these guys are just hanging out at the bar the whole time.
They're just hanging up at their own, at the penthouse, like
That's crazy.
swimming, eating, tanning, and then our anxiety asses are in our rooms like, oh my God, does he like me? Does he not? While he's smooching on some other chick. Like,
That's like hard to deal with, like mentally. I'm like,
mentally, it was like,
how do you?
What were the
do
guys
that?
like? Were they
Oh
hot,
my
or what was
God.
the story?
oh, they were so hot.
Yeah, it was like,
I feel
they're
like Howard Stern for a
cute.
second. So tell me about the chicks, right? How does Howard Stern say it? What
They
were
were
like? Yeah.
delicious.
Oh,
Ooh,
wow.
delicious.
I love that. Okay.
Literally delicious. They did a great job picking them. And it's funny because when we were filming, I won't lie, a lot of them were like stiff. Once I
Right.
physically moved into the penthouse, they were stiff. But watching it back, they were all very funny. But of course, when they're in front of us girls and we're like trying to fight for their attention, it's different because they're like, oh, if I give this girl too much attention, this one's gonna get pissed. Like, if you watch the show, like, yeah, girls got pissed. Girls got pissed, and I see it. But they were all sweet. Very the abs.
Oh,
Wait, hold on a second. I have a few questions about
Yes.
this. So, when you moved into the penthouse, what does that mean?
So the guys were staying in the penthouse, okay? And then we were still staying in our hotel room. And then after I think 2 weeks, they got to choose 2 women to move into the penthouse.
Like all 5 of them had to choose 2
Two.
total, or they
2
each
total.
got 2?
They each got 2
to date.
Okay.
to date.
So
Okay.
you made it to the.
Wow.
I
you
made it to the
2.
penthouse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I made it to the penthouse. And then obviously once we're in the penthouse, like things got a little messy where someone else's guy's girl would go for someone else's guy. Like it just
Just to make controversy on the show, or because they really wanted that?
I think it's just because they really wanted someone else, which you know what? They played the game. I mean, they got who they wanted. So, I mean, it is what it is. It's a reality dating show.
Right.
But yeah, it was honestly a great time. I would do it again. And I definitely have a different mindset now. A different mindset because I was like going in hopeless romantic. But at the same time, when it comes to these things, like you also have to be strategic. And I wasn't. I was kind of like hoping he would come to me. But I think for himself, he wanted me. Sorry.
It's okay. No worries.
It's her.
It's my phone. I'm so sorry.
No, it's all good. Just turn it on silent. I was trying to finish.
They're like, wait a second. It's all good.
It's on silent.
No, it's all good.
What were we talking
You were
about?
trying to
talking
be
about, you said you
strategic?
weren't being you were like hopeless romantic, weren't
Yes.
being strategic. If you were to do it again, you probably would.
Yes.
Because it was kind of a game in a way. Like
It was-
obviously you want to find love, but
Of
it is a bit of a game
course.
to win or
Of
kind of figure out how
course.
you're gonna.
And like, of course, at the time, I thought that my guy was just something in business. See, everyone else thought like, these jobs like don't seem real. But my dumbass was like, oh, he's in business. He's like a working man. Like he should be coming up to me, you know? And he was really wanting me to chase him. And obviously
Well, who
because they're
wants to do
soccer
that?
players. I know, right?
I'm not
I
gonna
was like,
chase
I want
a
to be
guy.
courted.
Exactly.
I would never chase a guy.
No.
Even with my husband still, I'm like, open that door for me, please.
Right?
Yeah. Like, what is
Right?
this? Just because you're married,
Exactly.
you gotta
And
have
like,
some fun.
even after like speaking, because we all get like a therapist after the show just to make sure like we're okay after the show. Do you know what I mean? And I was just talking to her. I was like, I really liked Sebastian. Like I really, really did. I don't know what went wrong. And again, we were talking and then she brought up a point that I had said. And he actually told me, if you behave, I will bring you breakfast in the morning and coffee.
Oh.
What is
And
this,
that's their-
50 Shades of Grey?
I know. And the therapist was like, Steph, did you hear what you said? He said, if you behave.
All right, that's really bad. What did he mean by that? Like, what was the context?
No, just literally like, just behave. Like, just behave. I'm assuming because it's a reality dating show, like, just behave in general. Like, don't be like going all crazy. But I clearly did not behave because I never got breakfast. Well, he was on a date with somebody else and we had like a pajama party with the whole house. and I licked whipped cream off of someone else. But it's not like I made out with him or anything. Like, he's out smooching some other woman, so I'm just trying to keep myself entertained.
Right.
All right, so hold on a second.
Yes.
This is
All right,
like a
so
lot of
I know,
drama
I'm like,
unfolding.
wait, hold on. This changed the course of what I thought. So hold on.
Hold on, rewind.
Just so I understand.
yes.
Here. So, and you don't have to answer this question.
Of course.
Okay. But is everyone having sex with their partners? It doesn't matter if there's two people.
No, everyone is not having sex with their partners.
They're not.
No, they're
Oh.
not.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
No. Everyone is not having sex. No.
Okay. Okay. I just
But they're
wanted to understand
dating.
that.
Everyone's like
And multiple-
dating. Obviously, there's making out.
Oh, okay. That's
and
different.
That's it.
But
Okay.
it's still like upsetting and kind of like a mind F in a way. Like,
Yes.
You know, you're like this guy and now he's going on a date with the other girl. And it's like, you don't want to go insane. So you're like, I'm going to lick the whipped cream off of this guy to get back at my guy
Yeah.
for going on the date with that girl.
Yes.
And this is how that's going to go.
It's
And he didn't
all-
like that.
It's all a cluster just of, we're all just going crazy.
Right.
I think,
And okay, hold on. Sorry. This is my last question, I promise. So why do you want to win? What benefit does a person have from winning this?
No.
Are any of these people still together, and what's the
No.
benefit?
nobody's together anymore
Of course.
at all.
It's like-
Oh my god.
Is
Is there money that you win if you win?
No, we don't win money.
Oh, and there's no house.
There's no. If,
like checking all the boxes, you're like, no house, no money, no clothing, no man. Why are you doing it? No, I'm kidding.
so if he chooses you, you get to go back to their hometown. So like you
That's
go
like-
to
that's
Mexico,
cute.
London, Turkey. I think those were the main
It's
ones.
like Bachelor.
Yeah.
Hometown date.
You get to go to their hometown and meet their family and see how their life is, because they're superstars where they're at. So there's paparazzi here and there. Like some have like mansions. So yeah, that's basically what they got to experience. I unfortunately did not, because my man did not choose me. He chose somebody else.
And are these all different, like diverse people? Like who are the men? Like what?
Yes.
Where are they from?
Yes. So we have 2 from London, 2 from Mexico, and 1 from Turkey.
Okay.
And yeah, Marco, he's from Mexico. He's actually won a gold medal, like the Olympic gold medal. The one from Turkey, Ryan, he's like a Dutch rapper as well, and he's huge into fashion. Like my guy Sebastian, like his family owns 3 soccer teams, so like his dad is like well known. And same with the other 2 London guys, like they're well-known soccer players over in London, which is crazy.
It's crazy. It's a really cool concept for the show. It's too bad that no one's together. That would have been like a nice, happy ending.
It could have been.
That was a good pun,
Right?
or not whatever it is. No pun intended.
Nope.
So okay, so then the show's over.
Mhm.
What do you do? Like, how does that just fizzle out and end? Like, what do you go? What happens next after that?
Well, literally, as I got sent home, all they had to do was order my butt an Uber and go home. I was like
bye.
15 minutes away, and I was so hurt, because to think you wake up the next day and like they're just down the street smooching with other girls, like the other girl that he chose. Do you know what I mean? I'm
Yeah,
just
that's
like,
hard.
it definitely was hard afterwards. But then looking back, I am so grateful for the experience, because not a lot of people get that chance to go on a reality dating show. Like, people dream of going
I
on
want to
to.
go on one now.
You
Yes, you should. You really should. No.
Modern day
Introduce me to your
dating. We make
producer.
our own
Yes.
reality show.
Actually, this is quite work.
No,
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It truly is fun. It is fun. And again, this was my first one. I was nervous. You get nervous with all the cameras around you, but I'm telling you, now I know how it works. I dare someone try and take my man again. I dare.
You're like,
Because I'm not like, no,
So you would do it again. Basically.
I would do it
That's
again.
the answer.
I would do it again.
Oh wow! I wonder if anyone's listening to this who may be in the market of casting. It's exciting.
Probably.
My goal is Love Island.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
That's definitely possible.
Mhm. And I think it's more up my speed.
I'm like, I definitely think it. I'm like, yeah.
I'm gonna make a confession here,
Okay.
and this is a big confession for modern day wife.
Okay.
So
I'm like,
I've never actually, at least since the year maybe 2005,
Mhm.
I have not watched any of those shows. No Bachelor, no Bachelorette since 2005 when I was in college.
Okay.
And this is a confession because these people speak at all of our events. Love is Blind, Real Housewives, The Kardashian Show,
Yes.
Selling Sunset. These are all the speakers. And the truth is, I haven't had cable. I had cable in my sorority house, and then that was the end of it, right?
I'm not up on up either, but I definitely
You knew what Love Island was.
Well, I've definitely had my addiction, like for a period of, it was more in my 20s, so I was obsessed with those shows.
Yes.
Like, I like just to a level of so obsessed. Like you like become like, you get so pissed when the characters don't get together. Or,
Yes.
you know, like they don't win or it doesn't work out.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, I was addicted to The Bachelor and Bachelorette. Like
Those are
addicted.
my shows. And like even now, like Love Island it's really intense right now. It's like this season of Love Island USA is really good. Even better than Love Island UK. Like
Are
hands
these
down.
like the winners of Bachelor? Is that the concept of Love
No,
Island?
they're
That
two
one's
different
Paradise.
networks.
Yeah.
Two
Oh.
different networks. Yeah. Bachelor has Bachelor in Paradise. And then Love Island has their own thing. Their own.
But Love Island is made up of people from all different reality TV shows.
Yeah, they-
other ones, right?
Yes, they have some people from Traders, like they just bring them in from other shows, or they're just regular people.
Girl.
Wait, actually, I did
You
watch
gotta
American
go on.
Idol. I just wanted to say that.
Relatable category.
It's a reality show.
It is.
All right, I just wanted to
It is.
clarify that one point.
Like, I don't
Okay.
know if anyone's sleeping around on that
No.
show. Maybe
No
though.
No,
snitching.
but I was pissed when Catherine McPhee didn't win, and Batman Hicks,
Mm-hmm.
whatever Hicks, the gray hair. Do I Make You Proud was the song.
I haven't
She
seen
didn't win, and look where she is now. And by the way, you should research Catherine McPhee's husband. She has a new husband, and he is the father of Sarah Foster, Aaron Foster. He has like all these different wives of different famous kids.
Oh my god!
I know that. And she now has a baby with him. It's like fascinating.
Wow.
You should
Huh.
look it up.
I'm gonna look that up. That's interesting.
Inside
Foster
scoop.
is his last name too.
Fosters. How old is he?
Probably 78.
Oh,
or
no.
75.
Oh, consideration. She's like, out.
Nope.
Okay,
No.
so you want to get on the next show?
Yes.
That's gonna happen.
Yes.
What? So for you, because this is like a kind of a fun topic we've been talking about. What? Because you're very family and husband orientated.
Yes.
What are you looking for? Like
Yeah.
in your guy? Like what do you want out of a husband?
Out of a husband, I definitely want someone who is going to be more masculine than me. I feel like because I've grown up in such a Mexican family, they've raised us to be really strong, especially since I'm the oldest. They've raised me like a son. So, like, I mean, I drive a stick shift car.
Girl,
Yeah,
it's
'cause
the
all the
best feeling
boys-
though.
Yes.
I cried like 5 times learning.
Yes,
My husband
so
was
did I.
so annoyed with me, but
Yeah.
once I got it, I was like,
A bad.
yeah, I felt so.
Yes.
Don't you feel so
Oh,
confident?
it's
I
literally
was
like a
like,
personality
yes.
trait now.
Oh yeah.
To the men, it's like, you drive stick shift? It's like, yeah, I do, baby. What can you provide?
I know. Or like,
Like-
my
What
husband
can
has
you
like,
provide?
Yeah.
So perfect. The logic from one to the next, but I loved it anyway. Okay.
But there's something to it. It's like, I think, remember that one time I told you this story? Like, we have a big truck, and I
Uh-huh.
like back that in, and I love when like
Oh,
the
yeah.
guys, even I tell my husband, I'm like, oh yeah, the guys were checking me out because I was back in the truck into the parking spot, and I'm like, can you even do that? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And then, like,
Exactly.
my husband thinks it's great though. He's like, yeah, like it's,
Exactly.
You know?
Let's go. Let's
Yeah.
go. Yes. So I definitely want someone who's going to be more, I wouldn't say assertive, but just I want to be in my feminine era. I feel like in my past relationships, I haven't been in that. And there was one guy that I dated that did put me in my feminine era. And all he did, it's literally the littlest things. It's like, opening the door, getting in first. Like but it's an add up of like all those things. And we would have conversations. Like he would tell me about his friends that are married. Okay. And he gave me this scenario. He's like, Steph, imagine if we were married and you went out and bought a couch. Like, would it be okay if you just went out and bought it yourself and didn't ask me? And I told him, well, honestly, like I wanted to ask your opinion because it would be for both our homes. And then he goes, no. He's like, I would make the money, like I would provide it for you. Like I want you to buy what you want. Like if you want to buy the couch, like buy the couch. And I'm just like,
Wow.
Daddy, stop. Oh my God. Husband? Hello. I don't know. It's just,
What happened?
it's just like the he was psycho.
oh.
So
Or like, and letdown. but good. You get the couch.
It was a debatable conversation.
It was
to be
a
honest with you,
debatable
but-
conversation. Like there was those good traits in him, but like I'm, like I said, a huge romance girl. Okay, so I love to read my romance books. Love, and he hated it. He was like, Steph, why do you keep turning to these books for romance? Like I'm here, I can give you romance. I'm like, it's not that. You give me a ton of romance, and it's not like I'm telling you like, can you be like this character in this book? I just loved reading them. So he would like every week buy me a book about something about the world, you know, something.
It's bizarre.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And I'm just like, what the? I just didn't like that he tried to change me, tried to mold me. And I literally, at the end of it, I was like, if you want someone to mold, then go for someone that's 21. Dude, like, not, I'm too mature for this because I want someone who's going to love me for me and not change on the books that I'm reading. Really?
Yeah.
Who has time for this anyways? I mean,
Literally.
like, does
Literally.
he work?
Yeah, he worked. He was he has his doctorate in psychology, and I would tell him all the time, like, you're playing games with me. I just know it. I know he was playing games with me. It's hard to explain.
I
Okay?
would tend to believe you.
I'm
He
like,
was playing
yeah.
games with me. Like he would pull back sometimes. I'm like, are you waiting for me to chase you? Like I knew he was playing
You're
games
like,
with me.
you're not it.
I was
Bye.
like, no, this isn't it.
So like, no games, no controlling and
No
changing, but
games.
we'll go for the guy who opens the car
Well-
and lets you buy the couch and who is treating you with romance.
Can I
Has been
teach you
traits
of
for a
actually
win.
a few of those? I dated this guy in Manhattan who was like my Mr. Big that Megan knows about.
Oh,
And-
yes.
Yeah, for
I can't
many
believe we
years.
made the whole day without talking about
I know,
him.
I know. We didn't talk about him. Anyways, but in any event, he was, when I was in Manhattan, I was 25 when I met him. He was 43, okay?
Mhm.
So he was from a different era. He was born in 68, right? So he
Yeah.
had taught me so much about like Paul Simon music and an ELO, which is Electric Light Orchestra, and just a lot, right? But in any event, he also taught me a lot about things that you guys probably don't know that you'll like.
Yeah.
So in Manhattan, when you get in a cab, the guy goes in first. And the reason is because he is going to shuffle over to the other side. You shouldn't be shuffling over to the other side in a cab. Just a cute thing. And then when you walk on the curb, the guy walks on the outside and the girl walks on the inside. And he told me the reason. People have different reasons. Some people say because of the rain, but someone else told me it's because back in the day, I guess in dirty cities like 1800s and prior, people would like pour their like shit and urine out the window, and so it wouldn't fall on the woman.
Yeah, that's right.
That makes sense.
Oh, that makes sense.
Well, that's very sad that makes sense, but this is.
Yeah.
But anyways, just like, but I'm telling these because I like loved that he did this stuff,
Yes.
right? Like when I first met him, he pulled up to my apartment in his Mercedes, and he goes, "Get in." And then I go around, he opens the door for me. I got in, he closed the door, he went.
Yes.
So I think Megan feels the same way that this stuff it's amazing.
It's
just what
amazing.
life, right?
I think that it's interesting in society, right? Like, okay, there's two ways to look at it. Like for me, I've never felt like as a woman I'm less or that I don't have a voice or an opinion. Everyone has a different viewpoint. But it's like, yeah, I want that. And I think it's gone the other way for some reason. Like sometimes we're trying to make men more feminine and no one's talking about doing these things anymore, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like it almost is like not as common. I'm like,
No.
no, like I think
That's sad,
I think
yeah.
it's fun on this podcast because we've actually, all of our guests today have talked about how they want to be courted. Like
Yes.
they want to have a man do these things.
Yes.
They want to have that. So I'm like, okay, what is the actual confusion then? Because I'm like, if women want this, then why is it not happening?
Why is it
like,
not happening?
What is
Yeah.
what is actually happening here? Or is it something that the woman's doing where we're not expressing
Aware.
that we want it as much? Like, I don't
Maybe.
know. I find it kind of interesting. I don't have the exact answer,
That's
but
very true because I have heard a lot of people saying that like men want the princess treatment, like just as much as like women do. And there was one guy that like,
That's terrible.
yes, that is terrible. Was one guy that I dated, like I think it was after the third date, he's like, do you want to go halves or are you going to pay for this?
Oh,
I forget what he had said. I'm pretty sure he
no.
said, do you want to pay for this? He said that first. And I was kind of in shock, and not because I think the man should pay every time. And I was going to offer to pay half, but just the fact that he like had said it was like kind of off.
That's the end.
And he even was like, I just hate always having to pay for women, and I would love for women to pay for me sometime. And I'm like, what? Like, that gives me the ick. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, he's from the unfortunately this generation, and he's been educated obviously that way.
Yes.
Sorry for anyone who's offended by this, but
no, but
not sorry.
No, I agree with you. I mean, I think there's like, okay, yes, like if you're a working woman, like for me too, right? Like,
yes.
obviously, my husband makes more money than me. That's just a fact.
Yes.
I'm never going to make more than him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm totally fine with that. But there's things that I can do
Yes.
for him as surprises or that are fun that make it special. But I think when it comes to the dinners, like I think as a woman, I even want to go back to dating, I would always offer.
Yes.
But I think the real man, the gentleman, always pays unless it's like a different situation and maybe you have that set up. I think on a first date,
yes.
the man should definitely pay.
Yes, of
I think the first like
few
10
dates. Yeah.
First few.
I'm with you actually. I
Yeah.
take my first back. I go with 10. I agree.
Yeah, or always. Sorry. I mean, like, I don't know. I'm not going to, like, I don't know. I mean, I'm traditional. I think the guy should always pay.
Yes.
Sorry, it might sound horrible, but
No.
once you get married, now you have the same.
Of course.
In certain situations account, so then
Of course,
it doesn't matter anymore.
No.
It's a wash.
But exactly. But I don't know. I just feel that way.
Yes, especially when you're just starting to date. Like, this was like what, our third date in, and yes, I am the kind of person that loves to do surprises for my partners. Always. I've always been the one that like plans picnics. Like, I'm
So
always
cute.
the person to do something to like make them happy, to show them that like I appreciate them. Always. I've never been someone that's been like, I guess, so to speak, money hungry. That's why for this show, when they told me that they were just average day men, I was just like, okay, cool. I didn't even care. So when it comes to the whole paying for the dinner thing, I feel like, yes, they should pay. But it's not like I'm not going to be grateful for it or show them later on how grateful I am that they're
That's right.
doing this. Yeah. That's just me.
No, I think
I
we're all on the
agree.
same page with that, right?
Yeah.
It's just traditions.
I have a more
Yes.
diluted viewpoint. Do you want to hear my diluted
Yes,
viewpoint?
what is it?
I don't know if I still feel this way now, but I used to, and this is going to sound horrible. I don't care. In my 20s, I would be like, any guy should be so happy to experience my body.
Yes.
That is their reward. Like, that's how I felt about my body. I'm like, I'm fucking, that if I was a guy, I would die. Like,
that is true.
and so I was like, he's
definitely
lucky to be with me right now. And that was the reward for paying for my dinner.
I think that's fair though. I
That
mean,
is-
men. I think it's valid. Like, I don't think that sounds bad. I
No.
mean, one time she made a comment when she was like, "Yeah, I waited on the street corner or something," and I was like, "Megan, what are you doing on the corners?"
In my 20s?
Yeah, or
no,
something
what happened
together.
is what I was saying was I didn't have a problem meeting guys in Manhattan, right? It was very easy. So
Uh-huh.
what I was telling you, there were no apps at the time, but I would use the dating services. Like there was OkCupid, JDate.
Plenty of fish.
Plenty of Fish. Yeah, I didn't use OkCupid. Plenty of Fish, and then there were like the traditional ones. Actually, I never went on like Match and whatever. So I would use those just for like my numbers, right? But I would meet guys on Manhattan on the streets all the time. So what I was saying to you is I used to smoke cigarettes, and it was very easy to meet a guy because I'd be like, "Do you have a lighter?" Or "Can I have a cigarette?" Or whatever, and I would find them on corners.
I was like, I knew there was a corner statement. I'm like, I didn't make this up.
Yeah, I would just
But
go up.
you're joking.
I met this guy from Montenegro.
Ooh.
I know you would never know this as a country. I didn't know. Montenegro, really quick, because Yugoslavia broke up and turned into like where your husband's from.
Yes.
Serbia or Croatia?
Croatia.
Serbia, Montenegro, and maybe one other one. Montenegro apparently is like the wannabe Greeks, right? And so I met this guy from Montenegro at Bank Restaurant on 30th and 3rd because I asked him for a cigarette and I had a fucking whitehead that night. I wasn't looking for a guy. I left my apartment. I had a full pimple on my face. And he asked me out from the cigarette. So,
well, I think that's like when you're confident though, right?
Yeah.
If you just are like, just
the
own
confidence,
it. Yeah,
yeah.
I think that people can tell, right? Like guys can tell there is something to that. So I like the corner story. I think it's great. But I think the body thing is fine too. I mean,
No, it
obviously, like whatever sex
did
is
you
a
ever feel
basic.
that way? Did you ever feel that? Think that?
I mean, for me, like I was kind of like who was on earlier saying that they always wanting to be in a relationship. That was kind of me. I was all like from early into like high school all the way till college. I was always dating someone. I was that kind of girl, like always have a boyfriend. But I always got what I wanted.
Yeah.
I think that was kind of me. Like I'm like a little bit like Polly. We just had Polly Brindle on, and I was always like, that's the guy that I want. You know what I mean? That guy. And I played games. I was really bad. Like I would just like play the game to like date the guy sometimes. And they'd be like, okay, like I'm not interested anymore. Right? It's bad.
Yeah.
But it was fun. And I actually was saying, like, I wish. Did you ever do sports?
Only cross country.
Okay. So I think one of the things that's interesting, like when I do have kids, like for me, I was obsessed with boys in high school, like obsessed, because I stopped playing sports. So I had nothing to do. So I used to professionally figure skate. And then when it came to high school, I worked a lot, but I've always been like a go-getter. So I had so much free time. So I'm like, what's the next game? Dating boys. But it's not really, I think at a young age, like if I have daughters, I think I would be like, okay, we're going to do sports until you're like at least later in your teens.
Yes.
Like 17, 18, because it just messes with your head. Like I look back, I'm like, wow, I could have been so much more productive if I wasn't wasting my time on boys. Yeah. Cause I was crying. Like I'd be like, oh, that boy broke up with me. And I'm like crying to my mom. And it's so dramatic. And my sister would always joke, like, had all these gifts from all the different guys I was dating
in high
and
school?
Stuffed animals. Yeah, like it was always like, it was cute. Like I had all these things, but there was so many upsets.
Yes.
So I'm like, what a waste of time. Like I wasn't marrying any of those guys. Like I could have been pursuing my goals. Like, wait, could I be like a mega millionaire by now if I wasn't fucking every weekend partying and being like, what's the next guy I'm gonna date? Right. So it's perspective. I think you learn a lot on how you're going to raise your kids. Yeah. Because I'm like, that's not really a great game, I don't think, until later on. And then it's also still not a great game if you're not really, what's the intention, right? Like, who are you, why do you actually want to play that game? Like, I think it's better to play to find the person you want to be with.
Exactly.
You know? Anyways, that's my story on men. But I think it's interesting. I wish more couples today, like, actually wanted to just find love. Like my husband and I always say, like, if you find that right person, like he's so cute, he's telling all his friends, just marry that girl. Because otherwise you're just wasting your time. Yeah. Because like, what's your purpose in life? Like, where are you going? Like you're going to go so much faster as a couple. So I think dating's great till you find that right person. But if you do, just get it done.
Exactly.
Like lock it down.
I agree with that because I feel like dating right now, especially, it's very wishy-washy. It's kind of like, no, I don't want to settle down because what if I find better? What if you find better? Boy, like, what are you doing?
Well, then that's the wrong person.
That's the wrong person.
Or just don't date the person in the first place.
Yeah. Like, you know, I think that the standards of relationships need to come up a bit. I think we want to go into this, which is great. Like on Instagram, right? Like obviously being beautiful is great. Like being sexy is great. But also it's like, we as women need to have some class too. Like the society is going to be forwarded by people getting married and having kids and expanding. If girls are just selling their bodies, like, I'm sorry, online on OnlyFans, it's like, you know, like where are we really heading as a society? Like that's my personal viewpoint, which I'm just not really okay with it. Like you won't find a single picture of me on my Instagram where I'm revealing unless I'm doing a bikini kind of promotion on selling a swimsuit, right? So it's like you have to think like other men see your pictures.
Exactly.
And what is that doing to their relationships too? Like there's a level of responsibility as a woman. Like I don't want to have other men like you know what I mean? Like you gotta, exactly. So you have to like kind of think about that. So what's your take on that? Because I love your page. I thought it's like super beautiful. You're very classy but sexy. So I'm kind of like, okay, I think you've got a good viewpoint on this. So tell me a little bit about how you curate your page.
Well, for my page, I am definitely someone who is very comfortable with my sexuality, first of all, especially from the dating show, because I definitely made a splash on there.
I want to watch it. Yeah, I was like, I need to watch it. We find out what the splash is.
You guys have to watch it. I don't know if you want me to spoil it for you, but I definitely made a splash.
Well, tell us now.
No,
so,
it is so, no, we have to watch.
Okay, you have to watch because that was
what episode is the splash on?
Episode 5.
Okay, we'll go right to that tonight. We can, like, watch it.
Straight to episode 5. I'm very comfortable with my sexuality. And I've even said before at the beginning of the podcast, like to me, intimacy is everything in a relationship. So even with my page, I always try to keep it classy, yet at the same time sexy, but not too much where it's the point, like if I were to have a husband, like no husband's going to want their wife with their boobies and butt out or like shaking it or whatever on there. Like, yes, I have a couple bikini photos, but you're not going to see me like bending over, pointing that butt to the camera. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'm just
Who is
showing.
doing that?
Megan. I'm like, have you been on?
I'm not on
Yeah.
OnlyFans.
No, I've never
websites.
been on OnlyFans, but I mean,
No.
even on Instagram, it's a little bit, you know,
Yeah.
it's just like borderline.
It's
right?
well, you like, you know, people who are on OnlyFans do promote their stuff on Instagram.
They
as
do.
well.
My husband
They do.
told me about this. It's like a thirst trap. Like
Yes.
girls, I didn't know these things, so he's educating me. But it's basically like there's girls that have like half naked photos that you start clicking, and if you go link in bio, then that takes you to like their OnlyFans
Yes.
page, which is locked, and you get like their paid like naked
Right, you
content.
have to pay and like.
And
you'll
what
see
do
it
they
without the
do
bra.
on these OnlyFans pages? Just so I understand.
Oh,
Is this-
everything.
Like, are they having sex with other people live?
Everything.
Really?
I don't know, I've never
Everything.
been on, but I think
And who are
everything.
these people?
Literally anybody. I mean, people can use OnlyFans for other things. Like I have seen, what are they called? Workout people, like physical,
Trainers?
muscular people.
like trainers. They're using OnlyFans. They're like, go to my OnlyFans, and like they're just showing like their sweaty bods, like in a Speedo, or they're not really showing any kind of junk or anything like that, but they're using that platform to gain some more, you know, followers or get extra income, so on and so forth. So there are people who are like using it for other things, but a majority of the people are doing stuff on there. And I had this one friend a while ago who liked this guy who was on OnlyFans.
And what was he doing on OnlyFans? A guy?
A guy.
Doing what?
He would literally be in like a room with like 5 other men just
Oh. This, I know. It's like there's a level of like
5 of them doing the same
naive.
thing?
Yep.
And women pay to watch it?
Yep.
Why didn't they just go out and meet a guy?
It's just crazy. I'm
Well,
just like, why would you want to?
That would be more ethical. That would be the better thing to do.
That's the
Yeah.
craziest thing
That's
I've
what I'm
ever
saying.
Crazy.
heard.
Crazy. Yeah.
But are they
I love
addicted to
how
the
you do
money,
your
I
eyes, by
guess,
the way. Do
right?
what you just did.
She's
Did
like-
you, yeah, do you see it?
Yeah, that's good.
say,
Like,
like a
you're
Disney
perfect. You're
character.
ready for the next TV show. But it's insane. I guess they're addicted to the money, right?
Yeah.
They're making so much money on
They're
there, which
addicted
is
to the
just
money.
the wrong.
But how do they go
mentality.
home for Christmas and see their family and they're doing these things in a hotel with 5 other men?
I have seen some people where they're like, their family doesn't talk to them anymore, or it's only partial of their family that speaks to them now. It is pretty sad. Again, I'm not against anyone who does OnlyFans. Everyone has their own path in life. Like, you
Yeah.
do you, boo, you get your own money. But it's sad. It's sad that, you know, like, if you do that, like, your family goes away, you know? I know my dad would be heartbroken if I ever did that.
It's just like culturally, like it's like
Yeah.
who's actually like allowing this? Like you kind of have to start thinking about these things. Like, wow, that has to be the way to become like a millionaire,
Yeah.
right? Like
It's
it's
the
like
fast,
too,
whatever's
you know,
fast
you
and
know?
easy, unfortunately.
It's like too bad
Easiest
it's
way.
not a different
Unfortunately,
way.
the fast and easy routes for anything, whenever you don't, and we'll bring this back to business for a second, but May and I realize whenever we do anything that we think is easier or faster, it comes back to bite you.
Yeah.
And that's like, if you have to do it thoroughly and right the first time. Like even just today, we have a girl who wanted a sign language interpreter for our event. And we were like, we don't.
Never heard
what's-
of
Yeah,
it.
do we have to do this? Is this like, are we required? And we just learned a whole process. And Megan's much better at handling things like this. Because I'm like, what is this? How long are you going to be here? Like, what do we need to do?
Yeah.
And Megan calls her back and is like, why don't you give us the phone number on all the different things and we'll do some research and so on. And that's the right way to handle it, right? As opposed to me, I'm like, I don't know. The event's in 2 days. What are we supposed to do?
Yeah.
We just have learned a lot, right? Like, in business,
Mhm.
you learn so much, right? You have
Yeah.
one problem, you handle it, you solve it, another problem arises. But what
Yeah.
Megan, you said is so true, because anytime we have a thought or a consideration, like I should do that, and you don't do it, it always comes back.
Yep.
That exact problem for a split second. I thought about it, I didn't do it, and look what happened.
Yep.
Like I'll tell you a funny story, and then we'll go to the ending question. But it's like, okay, I was like looking up an air conditioning unit to get my air conditioner broke in my house.
Uh-huh.
And so I was like so busy so fast. And I had a thought I called the wrong place. I'm like, that's not the right place. But I was like, oh, I'm too busy. And it was the wrong place, okay, that I called. It was the pool guys who service our pool, but they also do air conditioning.
Oh.
So it was like not totally like stupidity on my part because
Yeah.
like I did say air conditioning on their contact. But I knew, me personally, I knew it was not right. Guess what happened?
What?
They came to service the air conditioner. 24 hours later, the whole ceiling flooded. Because I really was like, well, it's kind of my fault. I knew that I should have taken the extra 5 minutes to find out who exactly we used to service the air conditioner. And I didn't. And I created a problem. So I think it's just like interesting, like where you just have to really, really
Just do it,
not
yeah.
ignore like those little things in business or whatever it might be. I don't know how we got on this, but it's interesting, right?
Yeah.
Like your intuition is so spot
For
on
the
as a
easy
woman.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah. How
the
is
easy
that
money.
going to affect you in the future?
Exactly.
Like, what about your
Yeah.
children, and what about, you know, you have to keep thinking about these various
Of course.
things. So
Of course, because once you're done and like you start a family, like it's always going to be there.
that's right.
Yeah.
Well, we've had so much fun talking to you.
Thank
but
you
we
for having
always,
me.
of course, we always end with like one really great question because we're obviously modern day wife. We are
Yes.
talking about how, as women, we are doing it all in all areas of life while being busy. So, what does being a modern day wife mean to you?
Ah, this is a good question. So
I know people like it.
I like it.
We love the reactions.
what does it mean to me? Being strong, independent, not looking back, moving forward. And that's something huge that I was looking at your guys' page, like the about us, about modern day wife, you know, helping other women come up and not pushing them down. Like we can all be at the top together, all of us, if we just help each other out. And like the biggest thing that I will say to everybody, we all have difficulties in our life. We all do. I mean, even from my experience of like on the show, I don't want to look back and regret. I want to look back, I experienced it, move forward. And that's something I want everyone to take from this is like, no matter what happened in the past, just keep pushing forward and just know that you have support from many women beside you there to help you along the way. So yeah, that's for me.
100%. We love that. I mean, community is definitely that helping hand that I
Huge.
think we all need. So
Huge.
thank you for being
Thank
here
you
with
so
us.
much.
Thank
It's
you.
the best
Thank you for
time.
having me.
And where can everyone find you? Because we definitely want them to give you a follow.
Yes, so they can find me on Instagram at steph.p.mendez.
Amazing.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.